What's going on, people? Welcome back to Mandem Football. As always, it's your boy Demeachnyc here. Like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Like I usually say, like and comment, and follow me on Mandem_football on Twitter. And of course, follow me on Instagram at Demeachnyc. And in today's video, this is my reaction to the thriller of PSG versus Tottenham Hotspur, which ended 2-2 in 90 minutes and then went out to penalties. And somehow, some way, PSG came out as victorious of this UEFA Super Cup classic thriller cinematic masterpiece that was revealed to us. I will say though, here's what I think of the game. Pretty much, it seemed like this was Spurs' game. It seemed like this was a Thomas Frank masterclass that we were seeing in front of us. I will say that Thomas Frank is a great coach, and I believe that Tottenham Hotspur will be much better going into next season. I think Frank is definitely destined to be the coach of Spurs. You could say whatever you want about Tottenham this, Tottenham that last season, but this Tottenham Hotspur team is going to be much better, especially with someone like Thomas Frank there as the coach and the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's very interesting the way they played. You know, five at the back, very compact, didn't allow PSG to really do much. But, of course, when you're going 1-0 up and you're 2-0 up, anything can happen, especially the team that you're watching, and that's Spurs. Literally, Spurs can be winning the game 3-0, and it'll somehow end 3-3, right? So there's no way for you to look into this game thinking that the game was done, especially when they scored the second goal. Even though Spurs were so, ahead of the game and they seem so on top of PSG, there's just too many match winners. There's too many game changers in there, and they just did what they had to do. Spurs went out there and did what they needed to do, but then, of course, PSG came out of nowhere and they just won the game. Pretty much, they just won it. So it's not a surprise to see that PSG won because we assumed that they were going to win the game, but I was not assuming that they were going to win the way they did. So big up PSG for that, but I really do think there's a lot of positives that Spurs can come out of this game. I think, number one, they were defensively sound. This is probably the best I've seen Spurs play defensively at all this year, as of 2024 and 2025. And I mean that, since Ange Postecoglou was there. They look so much better defensively, and I think this is really good for Spurs going into next season, where they have to play big teams, not only in the Champions League, but also in the Premier League as well. So I think, having a back five and seemingly things looking more dynamic, it will definitely benefit them for however long it can last for. But the player quality and the players that are actually on the pitch, I don't see this working out for too long. I don't see this, dynamic and game model working out too much at Tottenham Hotspur for an entire season. I mean, it could work, but definitely not for more than one. So we'll see what happens. A back five in the Premier League, we've seen it under Ruben Amorim. We've seen it at Crystal Palace, and there's a difference between all three of those teams, and it's the culture and it's the tradition of the club in general. Manchester United play with a back five, but we know Manchester United are in the mud, so it doesn't work over there. Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace plays with a back five, but the culture over there is much more positive. And in Tottenham Hotspur's boat, it's kind of in between. But there's a lot of optimism to look back at this game. I think Mohamed Kudus was excellent. I thought he was really good going forward, and I thought he was really good defensively. And again, Mickey van de Ven proving to me once again that he is definitely a top-level center back, let alone a goal scorer. I don't know how he always seems to score, including Romero. But yeah, I mean, Spurs, they played a decent game. It's just the fact that they're going up against PSG, arguably the best team in the world, and they have so many game changers in the team that at any moment, just like that, it's 2-1, it's 2-2, and now we're going into penalty kicks, and it's 0-0. And the penalty kicks some of them were fantastic, and some of them were absolutely dreadful. I mean, Vitinha's penalty, either do that run up and you score, or just completely screw that run up altogether and just score the damn ball into the net. Because it doesn't take 10 seconds for someone to take a damn penalty staring at the goalkeeper, only to hit it outside of the target, like literally out of the reach of the goal. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So whatever is going on there, please help me figure it out. But even with that being said, Spurs bottled it. I mean, Spurs, same old Spurs. You can banter all you want. But at the end of the day, I think Spurs really did play a really good game. And I do think that Spurs will be much better going into next season. I'm not going to say they're going to make top four. I don't think they're going to be that good. But I think they will definitely get a European spot. Definitely Europa League. Maybe Conference League. But I think they'll get Europa League for sure. They look like a very capable squad. And they have decent players. But if they can get one or two more players in there, big blow to Morgan Gibbs-White. We know how competent he is as a player and what he would be able to bring to Spurs if he were to go to Tottenham Hotspur. He seems like a very Thomas Frank signing. So I'm not surprised with that. I'm hearing a lot of talk about Eberechi Eze perhaps joining Tottenham Hotspur. So we'll see what happens there. But if they do sign someone like Eberechi Eze and they do bring in maybe another player in there to definitely help the squad, then I definitely can see them getting a top five, maybe a top four finish. That's how much work needs to be done at Tottenham Hotspur camp. For PSG, though, I will say this: before they scored that first goal, they're on terrorist list. They're on the terrorist watch list because they were playing awful. Like, they were not playing well at all. They were looking like the PSG of old, where they were playing very individual. They were trying to make things happen, but by themselves. Each player wasn't really contributing to the squad, wasn't contributing to the game, to any of the players whatsoever. There was a lack of fluidity and synergy between the players that we're very used to seeing under this PSG team. So the fact that they were playing the way they were really just gave me a bad feeling in my mouth of this is like the old PSG. And then they stepped up, and the players that they have, like I said before, they can just change the game in an instant. Kang Lee with a brilliant strike, and then Ousmane Dembele does his thing, puts in a crazy cross out of nowhere, and then Ramos gets on the back of it. And that's just what happens. That can happen, and we're talking about a top-level team with a top-level manager like Luis Enrique. So there's nothing much more you can say, and there's nothing much more that Tottenham Hotspur can say that they have to put their hands up and just say, you know, we did what we could, but they bottled it again. I don't think Thomas Frank should be bashing into the players, but I wouldn't be so happy. But at the same time, this is a moral victory for them moving forward into the next season, and we'll see what happens. That's all I got for today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe as always on the videos, and don't forget to reach out on my socials, Instagram and X if you ever have it. So I'll see you guys later.